Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. Well, good Monday morning, and thank you for tuning in to another fabulous Color Outside the Box podcast episode. I am your hostess, Princess Miller, back with Miss Kristi July. Good morning, Miss Kristi.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm in expectation of this show, so I'm doing great. We're going to talk about how to make a business and marriage work.
Yes.
Miss Kristi July is the owner of Rely Delivery Service. Got it right?
Yes.
And her husband is the owner of Coastal Express Shuttle. And so we're going to talk about how they both work 9 to 5s and are able to make their marriage work.
Yeah.
Because I do know that you work with him as well as on his business. And I'm sure he has some input and work with you.
Definitely.
Maybe on the consulting side concerning your business. So what's your secret, Kristi? Share your secret with the people.
Well, first and foremost, before we got involved in either business, we had some long conversations. Because if you're going to go into business, whether it's just one person or both, you need to be on the same page and understand what the business is that you're going to get involved in and the commitment level that's needed. Because there are times when I can't do it all, and I hate to admit that, but I cannot be the super mom, the super wife, the super employee, the super business owner without my husband stepping in on some of those things. So it's important for both people to understand what commitment level they'll need to have as you get started on a business. And so that's where we started. We talked about the businesses, and Rely came first. And I have this huge business plan that has been on the wall with all of the lines as where we want to go and grow. Before I even started the business, I had the vision for what I wanted it to become, or I thought it should become. And so we'd have constant conversations about not only the direction of the business, but how to get it started, what financial investment or commitment our family would be required to make, because it is a financial investment that comes out from our family. We didn't start with investors. And it's great for those businesses that do. That's just not the direction we initially wanted to go. So having the vision and we both agree to it made the process of owning the businesses and then acquiring Coastal much easier. Because we've been working at it for a little while. So first, that's the biggest thing that I'd encourage couples to have conversations about and be on the same page with. And how will you work out managing if one person is busy with the business, the other person taking on some responsibilities that may have been out of their original wheelhouse in your marriage.
Yes.
So, for instance, in our house, my husband does an amazing job with our kids and making sure that uniforms are done for the week, that they have the snacks that they need, all of those wonderful things that sometimes can go by the wayside or you forget about. So I am a little better at making sure we have meals cooked and that homework is done and done correctly. And so it makes a good balance. But we didn't start our marriage off like that necessarily.
Yes, it's a learning process.
Yeah, I may have ironed or done all of the laundry, but now that role has changed. But he was willing to adjust that role, just as I was willing to adjust to make sure that we could meet all of the expectations.
And that's really great that you brought out that point, because a lot of times when people go into business, they may not have that conversation. And then when you say, well, baby, I got to work late tonight. Can you do this, that, and another? Now, look, you spending too much time. And I've ran into a situation like that where I was doing business with someone and I had a conversation with her husband.
Okay.
And I said, look, you know, there are going to be some nights that she's going to be up late editing. And she still was working her 9 to 5. I think I was still on my 9 to 5 at the time as well. I said, so there are going to be some nights that she's not going to be able to, you know, maybe go out to dinner or something along those lines. She will have editing projects that have deadlines. Because when these people pay their money, they're going to be looking for their product. And so he was like, you guys going to make money? And I was like, yeah, we're going to make money. We're going to do this. And he was like, okay. Well, there came a time where he felt like he was being neglected. And so we were at a meeting, at a night meeting at a restaurant, meeting with this customer. Her phone is constantly going off. Where are you? You need to get home. Blah, 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 blah. So she ends up leaving, which is not a good thing.
Nope.
You know, when you're in
a business deal. No.
And they just get up and go home. So I covered for it, you know, being the person, hey, okay, well, go ahead, because I know your baby at home by themselves and this, that, and another. And I'll call you later and get you abreast of everything, and I'll go ahead and wrap things up. You know. So, you know, ultimately we had to end that partnership because, you know, that conversation, I know I made it very clear. I don't know if she made it very clear. I know I made it very clear because I know how her husband is by knowing her a number of years. And so my husband, you know, is the type of person, whatever you need him to do, you know, jumping in, baby, go get that check. What you need me to iron, you need me to feed the kids, go get that check, you know. So he understood, you know, even, you know, there was one time where, you know, we had a shoot at 5 a.m. And we both had to go to work that day. 5 a.m. I made the commitment to go. I think her husband said yes, and then she called me that night, and he was like, no, da-da-da, how can you go do this? I can't believe her husband letting her do this, da-da-da-da. So, you know, ultimately had to end that partnership, but again, my husband was like, I'm not in agreement with it. Go get that money. Make sure you charge him extra.
Yes, because it was 5 a.m.
It's 5 a.m. You go get that money. I'm going to get the kids to school. You know, so... You know, so you have to have that because it can cause a strain on a marriage when you don't have that conversation up front and say, well, you know, well, babe, I ain't gonna be able to help you on the light bill this month because I got to buy this piece of equipment, or I'm not gonna be able to do this because I got to go and do this. So, you know, that's really great advice to have that conversation up front. So what are some of the other things that you have found? Because it's a learning curve.
It is.
You know, you think, okay, hey, we're gonna go do this business, and then you find that, well, I didn't foresee that every Friday night I got to work on payroll, or, you know, I got to, you know, do this or do that. And that's normally some time that you may have set aside for family time. So what were some of the other things that you learned as you was navigating through this process of starting you guys different businesses? Because not only are you guys in business, you're in 2 different businesses and working 9 to 5s.
So you hit the nail on the head, though, that it is a continuous process and learning process on both of us. And one of the big things that we had to learn is that we both bring a certain skill set to the table, and you have to be honest about who you are and what skills you bring to the table and what skills the other person brings to the table. And I think that really helps us manage because I'm very big on logistics, as we've talked about, and my husband is a numbers person. And so the whole idea of entrepreneurship really is through me. I'm the one that's always like, yes, I'm fostering this. We're going to grow this. We're going to do it. And he's more of the kind of go with the flow type personality, which is helpful when you have an entrepreneur that's like, yes, we're going to do this. And so having that support has been great. But I think having the other person willing to learn the business side of it has been huge. So one of the things is, like I said, I'm more of the entrepreneurial mind than my husband is. But he has started to invest more time in learning how to be an entrepreneur, not just a business owner, how to actually be an entrepreneur.
What's the difference? Let me stop you there, because sometimes people think, I'm an entrepreneur, I got a small business. So tell us, what's the difference between the two?
Yeah, a business owner, in my mind, is someone that owns a business and they just try to make money. They sell a product or service. They get paid for that product or service, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. They're just making money. An entrepreneur, on the other hand, for me, delves a little bit more into it. Yes, we are providing a product or service, but to what extent or what level is that product or service in comparison to others in the area? What are the potential profit growths for those, for that particular product or service? Is there an exit strategy for that product or service? So for me, it's more than just where we are right now. Entrepreneurs are looking at where they plan to be in the next 2 to 5 to 10 years from here. How are we going to move this business forward? So, and nothing is wrong with being a business owner. That's great. And you may just want to have that one shop or that one product and that one service, and that's wonderful. But for those that want to get beyond that, I put you under the entrepreneurship category.
And then another thing is entrepreneurs don't stop at just having one business.
Surely do not.
They may have 2 or 3 businesses or maybe even 5, you know, all going at the same time. I met a young guy when I was a TV producer, and this young guy had a car lot. And so in me doing his commercial and getting to know him and meeting with him on various different concepts, because every time there was tax season, that was their highlight. Hey, we finna sell some cars. Come on out here and do this commercial.
Give me that check.
So I learned that every 5 years, he would buy a new business.
Gotcha.
So he was like, hey, you know, I'm getting to the point now where I think I'm going to sell this business to my sister and I'm going to find something else to get into. And I was like, what? Your business is doing great. He was like, that's what I do. He said, I've had car lots. I've been in real estate. I had a successful cleaning company with over $200,000 contracts. He said, but I get burned out. Every 5 years, I go do something new. Yeah. And that to me cemented in my mind that there was a difference between being an entrepreneur and a business owner. A business owner is driven to create that business, to grow that business. It's like a baby. Yep. But an entrepreneur is all about, you know, their passions can change. Yes. They're going to grow that business, but then that money is going to be set aside so that they can go into this business. And, you know, they have the ability to focus on multiple different things at one time. Yes. And so it's a calling to me. To be an entrepreneur is a calling.
Well, to be honest, I thought something was wrong with me. Because a lot of people that are in my closest circle don't think the same way that I do. Even my sister would constantly focus and say, Kristi, so what we doing today? What are you thinking about today? And that's before I started anything. I constantly have all of these ideas and write them down, but I didn't move on anything till I was ready and thought that that was the thing that I needed to move forward with. This was the one thing to start with. But everybody doesn't think that way. And for those people that do, I want them to know that they're not alone and nothing is wrong with you. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You just need to be sure that you're smart in your decisions and you're smart with your money. Because when you do have so many ideas, that means it's that much faster for you to blow through money or to lose focus and not actually put the money where it needs to be.
That's excellent. And so for people who are like that, like myself, they need a business owner, a business manager rather. You need somebody to step in and say, you know, yeah, you just got paid. But do you really need to buy that new camera?
Exactly. And that's with finding the right people. And I think that's something that my husband and I have worked very hard on. And any entrepreneur or business owner will need to invest a lot of time and money and energy into finding the right people. Everybody looks good on paper. Oh, yes. A lot of people sound great in interviews, but can they back it up and actually be the person that you need them to be? Because you're going to spend a lot of money in training people to be your voice. And in his case for Coastal, trying to find that person that could answer the phones and be that dispatcher, you're looking for somebody that has to be versatile. They have to be very personable, but they also have to be very logistics minded and efficient and effective in what they're doing. And that can be hard to find in people. Yes. So, and I'm very particular. So I need you to be better than me. is what I'm always looking for. Somebody that can be better than me in those areas. And so finding those people to have on the team as well, I think is very helpful in making sure that our business and our